We're live. What's
I
going
always
on,
love
man?
nothing. Just enjoying the warm weather again after that cold snap we had. My God,
Oh man, I tell you, dude, I hate the cold weather, man. It was killing me.
oh, hurt. No, my kid's never been in weather that cold. You know, he was born in Arizona. It does
Yeah,
not get that cold there. And we were walking into the store. He goes, "Dad, the wind's tickling my face and it hurts." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's not supposed to happen
it's
here, boss."
killing me, man.
Yeah. And it's starting to get itself back together. It was what, 70 yesterday, so that ain't all bad. Even
Yeah.
though we had that random wall of rain that blew through for like 10 minutes. Yes.
Oh man, we got tons of rain yesterday. I hate the rain, man. All day yesterday was such a gloomy day, man.
Yeah, but we need it. I mean, we were falling a little bit behind.
That's
I wish we wouldn't catch up on all the rain we missed for a month in one day. Spread it out, sprinkle at night, from 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
That
I'm
hour,
with you.
it can rain all at once. I'm asleep anyways. But yeah, so this is the new video version of the podcast that we've been working on diligently as we can with projects like this, right? Do we have a
We
name
got a
for it
lot
yet?
going on.
Yeah. We even decided on a name for it?
I don't think so. We'll figure it
It's
out.
kind of like a baby. After you see it a few times, you start to go, "Oh, it looks like a
We can
Stevie
just
or
say
whatever."
life in Albany. The ups and
Oh,
the
yeah,
downs.
that's kind of what we're talking about, anyways. I mean, one of the highlights of my life in Albany is definitely some of the food here. Like
Oh
last time
yeah,
we were talking on the phone, we were talking about Harvest Moon over there by you.
man, I love Harvest Moon. I was trying if I was gonna have that for lunch today, actually.
I've taken Rowan to get a haircut over at Optimum Barber there today, and it's on the way. And their Philly cheesesteak is just calling my name. It's like a siren calling me in to smash on the rocks in Roman and Greek mythology. I need. It's not that I want it; it's that I need it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm a big fan of the pizza and the burgers, personally.
I
But
have not had a burger from there yet. My
oh yeah,
wife loves
man.
the eggplant pizza. Oh my gosh,
My
absolutely
wife is
love
a
it.
big fan of the pasta. She loves the pasta. We probably eat there about once a week at least, maybe twice.
Well, and they have so much food, different types of food, that you can eat there more than once and eat all over the world. You know what I mean? You get a
Oh yeah,
burger, hey, you're in America in a pub. Hey, you get pasta, hey, you're over in Italy. Congratulations. How's that feel?
it's a fun place, man. Bo, he owns like three or four. Let's see. He's got the steakhouse, or it used to be a steakhouse. Now it's the Italian place. I think it's Osteria, right?
I've eaten
And
there.
then he
Yeah, I've eaten
has
there.
Mary Acres, and which is like a hotel slash bar, and you can get, like got a little bus, that drives you around, and they got like it's
That's
called like the
cool.
City Club or something. And so like I think it's like I can't remember how much it is, but I know some people. So like you get a discount when you stay there a lot, and then you got a little bus that'll come and pick you up and take you home, and then
That would be great.
yeah,
No, no surprise added expenses after your night's over. Always highly recommend, that you have, especially if you're going to go out and visit a few bars away home
yeah,
that isn't you. And
that's
it's
right.
great that they offer that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
had I had their pizza, their eggplant pizza, and it came with red onions on it. I didn't know that. And I hate red onions. Like, if I could eliminate one thing off the planet, cold weather would stay, red onions would go completely. And I absolutely loved them on that pizza. So
I am
I
a
guess I was wrong.
huge. I'm huge with the pepperoni pizza. I'm a big pepperoni guy myself, and my wife, she loves pizza just as much as I do. It's one of my favorite meals, actually.
Mhm.
And we had it last night. But so I mean, we get the pineapple. She likes the pepperoni, so we meet in the middle, get the pepperoni pineapple. It's pretty delicious.
Pepperoni pineapple would be really good because you got that good bite from the pepperoni with that sour sweet combo.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes with ham and pineapple, depending on the cure of the ham, and I love pizza so much that I judge Hawaiian pizza based on how they cure the ham. I want something that isn't super sweet, like a honey glaze type, just sweet on sweet. That's too much. I've never tried pepperoni. I've had pepperoni kiwi pizza, which is absolutely delicious. It's
Yep.
kind of like the same thing as pineapple, right? It's just a little bit more tart, is all.
Yeah. I've never heard of the cucumber on the pizza.
Yeah, you go out west, they put all kinds of stuff on pizza. They put all kinds of stuff on pizza on the West Coast that they shouldn't. And I'm sorry to say this, but the West Coast does not have good pizza. Like I said it. Being from the Midwest, knowing what good pizza is, having had true New York style pizza, Arizona, California, they have all these like, ooh, look at this weird topping on a pizza. It's like, hey Jack, how about you just get a cheese pizza down? How about you just get your sauce tasting good and your crust the right consistency? Because that's the biggest thing, right? Is the
That's
crust.
right.
Harvest Moon has some of the best crust around. One of the reasons I love their pizza, I'm sure you do too, is
Oh
because
yeah.
of the crust. Yeah,
I mean,
you get
I'm
those.
a huge pizza guy. I'm a pizza connoisseur. So when we went on my honeymoon, not my honeymoon, on my anniversary last year, we went to Gatlinburg. You ever been to Gatlinburg?
I have not. We were talking about
Oh
going out up there this summer.
man, so like my thing is with my wife, we're gonna take a new trip for our anniversary every year somewhere we haven't
Mhm,
been. So last year we went to Gatlinburg and Gatlinburg, man, like got a plan where you stayed. Like I rented like this condo on top of a mountain. Great
mhm,
views, like you could see everything. And it was really cool. You could see the town and stuff from it. It was pretty cool. But the problem was getting down the mountain to the town. And so it was in February. I got married in February. So, like I've never really lived in the mountains and I'm not really a big cold weather guy, but I didn't really, snow. It's just not something I really thought about.
mhm.
And so, driving around the mountain, I mean, it took you 45 minutes to get to town. It was like 7 miles away. But halfway down the mountain was a pizza restaurant. So, because of the ice and stuff, we would go to town in the middle of the day after we woke up and we had to melt the snow off the car and everything,
Mhm.
and get down the mountain. And so we'd go to town and on the way back up in the afternoons when it was still, we were still able to drive up and down the mountain from the ice and everything. Because I'm not
Mhm.
an ice driver, I guess I'd say I've never done it.
You were
Yeah.
born driving through 10-foot snowdrifts like they do in Michigan.
Yeah, and so we would stop at the pizza place every single night for lunch. We ate it. So we're big pizza connoisseurs. So I can say without a doubt, Harvest Moon has delicious pizza.
I've eaten pizza in God only knows how many states now. Pretty much, if I stay at a hotel in a state, I find the top rated local pizza joint on Google. I used to do a lot of enrollments and stay in different hotels and stuff. Top rated pizza joint on Google. Let's order it and find out. I got some amazing pizzas. I got some terrible pizzas. I would say that Harvest Moon has one of the top 10 pizzas I have eaten in my life,
Oh yeah.
which is that's for if you think about how many pizzas you've eaten, that is a statement because I've eaten thousands of pizza joints. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man, that's a pretty bold statement. I'd have to agree. I'd have
Well,
to.
and yeah, it's the way that their sauce is balanced. It's the way that the crust actually has the snap, but still has the cellular doughy structure inside of the main crust itself. And then they do the toppings right. They don't overload it like you see a lot of places. They think they have great pizza because they put 15 pounds of toppings on top. Like you need to let everything be its own thing and find balance.
Oh
It's
yeah.
kind of like life, right? A good pizza is like life. It's delicious when you find a great balance.
Hey, I mean, you ever been up there at nighttime or anything?
I have not. We have a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old. So our nightlife as of right now is putting them to bed at like 8:30 and then trying to fight to stay up till 9:30, 10 o'clock.
I don't go out anymore because I'm married and I'm getting older. It's tough getting older, I tell you.
It
But
is.
we used to go out when a couple years ago when I was younger. It's a pretty fun place.
They have karaoke and stuff there, don't they? And all sorts
They
of
have
different
like
things.
bands and stuff like that. Yeah.
Holy
I
cow.
mean, they take like all the tables out of the middle pretty much, and it becomes like a dance floor and then like around, like every year for Thanksgiving, like
Mhm.
what the night before Thanksgiving, everybody's back in town. It's like known as like the spot to go.
Oh, yeah.
And then like same thing with Christmas, like Christmas Eve, things like that. So it's a hopping little joint up there, man.
The night before Thanksgiving is the biggest bar night of the year.
That's right.
And that's the reason everybody goes to that one bar because everybody's home. And what do we all come together over? Good food and alcohol.
That's
That's
right.
why if you have a town that just doesn't have that particular bar, your town is awful. It just, I can't help that. It's just how it is because you don't have that congregating place where everybody's like, oh no, yeah, I'm in town. I need to go here and get pizza and I need to go here and get beer.
Plus, back to the drivers, they had the drivers.
Yeah. They make it so that you don't have to spend a night in the Albany County, motel.
Yeah. Cost
Now, in that
saved you
motel, they
about
do
10,
give you your free
15,000.
pajamas. uh, you don't want to wear bracelets at the end of a good night. I may or may not know that from personal experience. It definitely puts a damper on a night that would otherwise be pretty legendary.
Yeah. I'd have to say I understand what you're saying.
Have you heard of anything going around this time of year as far as things going on out in the world, out in Albany? I've been kind of keeping my ear to the ground. Besides the things that are happening at like Pretoria Field, because Pretoria Field always had something going on. It seems like craft axe throwing always has some fundraiser or something going on every month. But have you heard of wind of like any events or anything?
I mean, I've heard about one event that's supposed to be real fun. You hadn't heard about it?
Which one?
I mean, somebody's gonna die. We're gonna have a killer.
I love it. Yeah, there is going to be a planned murder. I mean, that is February 9th for everybody listening. We're the Young Professionals Network, the Albany Board of Realtors are putting on it's a murder mystery night. And speaking of drinking and food, there's going to be drinking and food there. We were actually going through the drink list yesterday. Gin fizzes, mint juleps, moonshine, which right there is the night. You might want to take it. It's a Thursday, so if you're planning on drinking shine on a Thursday night, take the first 3 hours off Monday or Friday morning. Just tell your boss Thursday, hey, I'm going to be 3 hours late tomorrow. Lie, do whatever you have to do to get that 3 hours off. That moonshine little nap will be so much better 3 hours into your day on Friday.
I mean, really though, the beauty is you don't even have to ask your boss to get off. You can just be like, hey, boss, you can come with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get your own tickets.
Yeah. Buy your boss a ticket. Tickets are on sale right now. They can be picked up at participating sponsors. They can be picked up definitely at the Albany Board of Realtor office. Craft Axe has a few kicking around. And I know that Optimum Barber does as well because I was in there getting my hair cut yesterday when they got dropped off. So Ginger dropped them off yesterday. They're great. First round right now, they're 40. They are going to go up on January 23rd. So buy them now and don't spend more money to do the same thing later. I know there are going to be some door prizes and stuff for the first X amount of people that buy. I know the first 60, I'll say this, it's around the first 60 people are going to get a free fedora. So when you buy your ticket, you're getting stuff with it. Plus you're getting a night out. I mean, how much does it cost to go to the movies? By the time you spend for dinner and a movie, you're up to $100, right?
I mean, when I go to the movies, man, I gotta take a mortgage out. I mean, you go in there. I don't even know what a movie costs anymore because I haven't been there in so long. But like I know, like a few years ago, you go to the movies, man, you'd spend. I mean, because see, the thing is, like you got to get the dinner, right? So you got to go eat and then go to the movies, right? Like a Friday, Saturday night or whatever, maybe a Sunday or something. I don't know. And so then you got to eat. So you got to put that meal into the movie price. Too. Then you go to the movies and you're going to have to buy you and your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, significant other, whatever, and then if you have any children, got to get the children, or maybe your children are going to go see a different movie than y'all. So like, it still be like a cool family event, but I mean, it's still going to cost you some cheddar.
Last time I went to the movies, not a matinee, because if I'm going to try to catch a movie, I'm going to try to catch a matinee because I'm cheap like that. And still, a matinee is like $10. It was like $15 or $16 to watch a movie. So for my wife and I, it was $32. Plus, we went to dinner. A dinner, two people and a tip. You're looking at, by the time you have a drink or whatever, you're looking at $50, 50, $60. $100 to go watch a movie and sit in a dark room quietly for an hour and 45 minutes, which, by the way, used to be a punishment. When I was a kid, sitting in a dark room for an hour and 45 minutes and being forced to shut the hell up was like the worst thing you could do to me. And now I'm paying for that privilege. So the murder mystery event is great because you're spending $40. If it's two of you, 80. If you're bribing your boss and buying them a ticket, get them a ticket too. That way they don't have a choice to say no, and then force them to buy their spouse one. Say, listen, you're going for half price. I'm showing off 3 hours late tomorrow. But you get an event where you're connecting with people, right? Where you're actually getting to know other people. This is a great event for business owners too, because it's a great networking event. It's open to the public. There's going to be all sorts of different people there. I mean, and we're not there to talk about business, right? We're there to eat, drink, be merry. And my favorite part is they keep billing this as a comical murder. I mean, I've never witnessed a murder that's been proven in a court of law. But I'm damn sure never witnessed a comical murder.
I mean, I really am pretty excited about it. So I know me and my wife are going. We got the outfits. We're gonna be all dressed up. And she's got like I think it's called a flapper dress or something. She's got, and I've already got the fedora and I've got the vest, and my wife has the bridal shop. So we've got a bunch of tuxes up there. So like the good thing is I just pull it right off the. I've already got my in with it tux girl.
There you go.
And so I'm excited about it, man. It's gonna be a lot. I'm thinking like pinstripes, man. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I put together for it.
I've got a Bugsy Siegel looking outfit. So one of my favorite gangsters of all time is Bugsy Siegel because the man invented Las Vegas and was murdered for it. That is the best part. The mob made how much money from Las Vegas and still does, and they killed the guy who started it. That is a beautiful thing. If I'm going to model myself after a gangster, it's the gangster who stood in the middle of a desert and went, no, we're building paradise right here.
You ever been to Vegas?
Several times. Yep. Yeah. My wife and I we drove up there. My father-in-law flew in when we were living in Phoenix. It's like a 6-hour drive, 6.5. So we left after work and got there about midnight. And we took our son, who at the time was just around 1. We get into the hotel, get checked in. It's midnight. My wife and I are dead tired from working, driving all night, all that kind of stuff. My son, she lays him down. He starts screaming, stands up. My wife lays down. He says, Mama, for the first time. Plain as day, just goes, Mama. And I just started laughing. I said, that kid has known how to say that for at least a month. He was just sitting on it going, it's not the right time yet. She's like, she had to roll back out of bed and grab him and hold him. I'm like, yep, good boy. You can't teach that. That is definitely instinct. But yeah, he's been down on Fremont Street. I actually like Fremont better than the Strip. When we go there, I like going down there more. There's just more action.
Have never been there? No, I've never been there. I've been to Biloxi, never Vegas. I'm not a big gambler.
Well, and this is the thing. We're not either. I mean, I think I played 3 hands of blackjack the entire time we were there. Wow. A lot of people stay on the Strip when they go because you think the Strip is where it's at. Stay on Fremont Street. Stay at like the D. Stay at the Golden Nugget. Stay at one of those hotels. Then take a taxi out to the Strip for a night. Because that's about all the Strip is good for. Is one night of walking around, drinking. The Fremont Street, they have a stage at the end. They have bands playing. They have special spots where there's street performers throughout the night of different kinds. We almost got my son's picture taken with a couple Playboy bunnies because we thought that would be great when he was 1. I mean, it's Vegas. Let's introduce him to culture all at once. They have a huge lighted ceiling that goes down the street. It's like 3 blocks, and it's all LEDs. And they have all sorts of different like pictures. Like they'll do a digital jet flyover and all these different waving colors and stuff. It's great. I mean, definitely go out there. Now there's a little Thai place at the end of Fremont Street by where the fire-breathing mantis is. Save your money. I probably would skip that particular restaurant. I had some fish there, and I could smell it when they were cooking it in the kitchen,
Oh,
40 feet away, and I'm like, this is not good. Like, that is not a good way to start a meal.
I'm not a big Thai guy, so I don't. I will steer clear of the Thai place without a doubt, man.
There you go.
I'm not.
There's
My wife, she can't eat like shellfish or anything like. I don't even know what Thai food serves, but that sounds like shellfish. So
Yeah, shellfish and peanuts and all that kind of stuff. Basically, if you have a food allergy, the one food area you should stay away from is Thai food because they just put all the stuff people are allergic to in one pot and wish you the best of luck.
yeah, I mean, so we're pretty normal food eaters. Me and the wife, pizza, red meat, chicken. My wife loves to cook, so we do. She has got this great chicken recipe. I don't really know what she puts on the chicken, but it's real good. We do a lot of mashed potatoes, so we'll steer clear of the Thai food. But
I went down to Carol's in Sylvester the other day. It was last week, and that little sausage meat shop there. I love it.
oh
They
yeah,
had rabbit. I roasted up a rabbit last week. Oh my good. You couldn't hold it above your head because your tongue would give you brain trauma. It was, oh man, was that good.
I like Carol's. So I used to work for a company called Massey Wholesale, and we would sell things to them. So I would go by there like every few weeks to drop things off for them,
Hmm.
and I'd always get some sausage dog. I think we used to have something over near my house. I can't remember if it was a Carol's that closed.
There was, yeah, I
I think,
heard there
yeah,
was one
on
around here that
Philema.
good. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yeah. So we would have deliveries go to them at least like every other week. So I'd always get some links of sausage, man. And then like the sausage dogs. So like I used to drive past Salt Lick, going to Dawson every day,
Hmm.
and like probably 6 out of 10 days, I would stop and get a sausage dog. I'm a big fan of the jalapeno cheddar dog.
Yeah,
That's my favorite, but my
I
wife's
got
not a
some
big she's not a big sausage person, so we don't eat much sausage.
mine either, but I buy enough for two people and still eat it all by myself. I got some maple habanero sticks while I was down there. Now those are dangerous because my eyes were watering, my nose was running, and I couldn't stop eating them because they tasted so good. I'm like, that ain't right, man. You can't make something that's food that hurts people but tastes so good they can't stop. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a jalapeno poppers guy. I've never tried that. I'll check that out. But yeah,
Check
I
out
mean, I'm a jalapeno poppers guy.
armadillo eggs. Look those up on they're a jalapeno stuff. They're a jalapeno popper stuffed with your cream cheese, wrapped in bacon, and then they're covered in sausage.
They're called what?
They're called an armadillo egg. My dad makes them. They're insane because there's two types of pork. Which anytime you're bringing two types of pork to the table, bacon and sausage, when you're mixing those two together, you're already dealing with magic. But yeah, and then you have your jalapeno in the middle with the cream cheese. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Oh yeah,
He
I'm
actually,
looking at it on the Google, man. It does look pretty good.
yeah, he actually puts a little smoked cheddar cheese in there with the. Oh man, they're
I
ridiculous.
wonder I wonder how I can share this screen. Hold on.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't know
working
how to
on
share that.
technical stuff.
I don't know
See,
how to
that's
do that.
the beauty if you're listening to the podcast is he's working on something visual
Manage.
right now, which is completely pointless for you if you're enjoying this in a podcast. What he's doing is completely pointless. So watch the video because even if you just go to kind of the very end, you're gonna want to check out the art. And you know what? Your fingers aren't broke. If you're listening to this right now, your fingers are not broke. You can type in something close to armadillo and something close to egg, and Google will be like, "Hey, did you mean armadillo eggs? Because they're delicious." And it'll give you all of the recipes ever.
Cream cheese, stuffed jalapenos wrapped in pork, sausage, and smoked over oak wood.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is.
Delicious. My dad wraps them in bacon too, because you got to get that bacon in there. So he'll take and wrap them in bacon and then crisp the bacon up in the oven, and then wrap them in sausage. And then he does them over. He's got a charcoal smoker hybrid type thing. So he does 50% applewood and 50% charcoal to give him a little bit of that sweet, kind of deep, earthy flavor. Just absolutely awesome.
You been
He's won a
busy,
couple-
man? You been busy
Oh,
with
me?
work?
It's the holidays. I will be, because people probably have finally, everybody goes, oh my gosh, it's 2023. Where did 2022 go? I need to buy a house. How about you?
Oh man, I think it's starting to pick up some, man. I've been getting a few offers. I think we're gonna have a pretty good year.
Well, I think we're going to have if you scrub out 2020 and 2021, I think we're going to have another year of great uptick in sales volume. I mean, last year was a record-setting year if you take out the 2 years prior to it. The 2 fluke years, if you remove those, kind of like a bell curve, take away the 2 lowest scores, take away the 2 highest scores, see where everybody else lands. It was a record real estate year last year, like $2.7 trillion or something like that.
What do you think?
Hmm?
What do you think is going to happen with rates?
I think that we are going to see a reduction. Now, a wise man once told me, you marry the house and you date the rate. So a rate really shouldn't stop you from buying, ever. Because most people will take a credit card out of their wallet and slide it at McDonald's and spend 25% interest on a Big Mac and then drive about a 6% interest on a house. It's like, yeah, but the house is going up in value and the Big Mac made you sick immediately after you ate it.
Yeah. So, our market is still pretty strong. So in my office every Tuesday, we do a weekly market report, like a weekly meeting. And so in Doherty County, there's 123 single family homes on the market. And that's 13 less than we had last week. So the market has shrank in inventory in Doherty County. Single family homes is what we look at and judge all this off of. And then in Lee County, there's only 52 homes on the market, which is 6 less than we had last week. So both markets shrank in inventory, which kind of signals an uptick in the market.
Oh yeah, the direct that people are buying. And
Yeah.
they're spending less out of pocket, which is another kind of great thing. Before, when you got a 3% interest rate on your house, good for you. You overspent by $100,000 and now you're upside down on a mortgage. Congratulations. At least this way, you're kind of curtailing that exposure of you're not putting yourself in a position to be upside down as fast unless there was some sort of huge market. We'll call it a market correction like 2008. Market complete collapse. But even that recovered in 2 years. So up it went again. And you're not in that precarious of a situation that you used to be. And people didn't think about it because they were getting what they wanted at a price they thought was cheap. Well, great. But as you start to see the market correct and home values come down just a little bit, if you overspent by 80 and your home comes down 20, you're $100,000 upside down right there. You're not cash out and everything else, refinances, all those types of things become much more difficult because you don't have the loan to value that you should.
I think it's going to level off pretty well. I think that some people are going to be upside down and some aren't.
Well, and especially out where I was, where people were spending out in Arizona, where people were spending $150,000 over asking price on $450,000 homes. It's a 2,500 square foot home. It's not worth $600,000. And my guess is it's never really, unless, but look at LA. You know what I mean? If you look at California, I could be wrong. And if I am, great. But
I think a lot of people, people are so migratory right now, so like my office is at my house, and in my truck, essentially, kind of wherever I go, basically. But like where I do my paperwork right now, where I'm at is in my house, in my office,
So
I got a whole room. Yeah.
You carry your office with you at all times.
Well, yeah, but most other people, like you work from home a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I would say I think the report is about 80% of jobs, have, gone remote, and a lot of people aren't going back to the office. So, with people like in our area, our cost of living is relatively, I mean, it's so low. I mean,
That's why we moved
you
here.
could buy a house in Albany, Lee County, Doherty County, Dawson, so, Worth County, whatever, and spend, $200,000 and have a really nice home. You could spend $500,000 and have an like a beautiful home. I'm listing one today in River Point, man.
Mhm.
Absolutely beautiful. This home, we're going to be around 550 for it, and it's a steal, man, at that price. Looking over the water, and so what I'm kind of getting at is, California is losing so many people. So, with jobs going remote, I feel like in our area, we've really moved a lot of people. Some of the most expensive homes I've sold over the last 2 years were to people who were moving here, and their jobs are 100% remote. I
Yep.
mean, I'm talking Double Gate, River Point, you know, Mary Acres, Lake Park neighborhoods,
Mhm.
West Lee, East Lee. A lot of those people, buying $250,000 homes, and they're moving here, and $250,000 to them is nothing because they were spending $650,000 to get a basic starter home, and where they come from.
I don't know how the people who bought because we bought our house in 2018 in Arizona, and it was I think like 227, right? 2,500 square feet, pool, little putting green on a 6,000 square foot lot. So there was like no yard, and our neighbors were 8 feet away from us, and that's just how the houses were built. So you didn't really get much of a yard out there. Bought it for 220, sold it for 440, 440, 450, something like that. When we were looking at places to move and states and areas to move to, we looked at our house and we went, do they not understand what money is? Like the same house where we were living, because this house has an acre. So this would be considered horse property in Phoenix. It's a $700,000-800,000 house
An
because you
eight,
need 1 acre to have horse property. Yeah.
I think in our area, I believe it's 5 acres.
Yeah, and that makes a lot more sense. You go to like Gilbert, Arizona, you see yards, a sizable yard that has a small horse ring and a little horse barn with 2 horses out of it because there are some right in the middle of Phoenix that are an acre lot that have a horse barn and everything right in Phoenix because they said 1 acre is all you need for a horse. So this would technically, where we're from, go up in value because it's horse property, which it's insane. So that's why we moved here, is because of the cost of living and because of how much debt we could pay off when we sold our other house. And if you're listening to this on the West Coast, it really is a solid move. I mean, and Mr. Burton can definitely find you a house that you absolutely fall in love with. You should follow him definitely on Facebook because he is posting gorgeous homes. I get people asking me all the time, where is this one at? And they're asking from Maricopa. They're asking from Chandler, Arizona. They're asking from, Yuma, where Nick Pompagiorgio's from in software. Yuma, Arizona.
I mean, we got some beautiful homes in this area for sale, some more coming on the market. I know we have a lot of building going on, so,
And
I
it's a
can
great community.
oh, yeah, absolutely. So I can buy you a house, Chad can do the financing on it, and I mean, we
And you
can.
can listen to us jabber about everything that's going on in the meantime. So if you're thinking, hey, listen, why in God's green earth would I move to Doherty County, Lee County, Georgia? Southwest Georgia is highly, highly overlooked. I mean, it just is for a lot of reasons. We're what, 45 minutes to I-75?
Yeah,
I mean, you
so,
can be to the
you know
beach in 3 hours.
the beach, what I love, we can be in the beach in 3 hours, we can be in the mountain in 3 hours, we can be in the desert. We're pretty close to pretty much everything. I don't really know how far our closest desert is, but we have like some big canyons and stuff around here. So I mean,
I've got,
about an hour and a half away. So
what is
maybe
the
not
name of that
desert.
canyon that starts with a P? Parish Canyon? That's what
Providence, I
I
think. Providence
Providence. Yeah,
Canyon.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. And you can walk down and kind of do your own thing. It was great out there. Caitlin and I went out there for a day hike and we're like, this is great. And we moved to Phoenix for the same thing. You were 3 hours from the mountains. You were you're about 6 from any sort of real beach. Whether or not you wanted to go through California to LA or down through Mexico. I would almost prefer Mexico over LA. That's just me personally.
I've
We
been
were
to
close to everything.
Yeah, I've been to Arizona and New Mexico. So I went to the Grand Canyon when I was in high school on a mission trip. So probably I was like 16, 17,
What did
16.
you think at that age? What did you think of the Grand Canyon?
It was cool, man. Like I thought it was really cool. So like we went to a couple different canyons. So like we were on this Indian reservation, like doing all this
Mhm.
work. And so, I mean, it was really cool. So we did all this work, and then in the like in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, we'd like go to different canyons. And then the last day, I think we went to Arizona and went to the canyons because I think it's in. I don't really know exactly. I think it's in Arizona, right? I don't know if it's in
Yeah,
New Mexico.
yeah, it's in Arizona. It's about an hour-ish outside of Flagstaff. There's a
Yeah,
lot of cool, weird things in that state. But if you ever get out that way again, there's lava tunnels in Flagstaff. Believe it or not, it was a volcano at one point in time. The mountains in Flagstaff, and where the magma used to come up and become lava became hardened rock. And there are these and they're not like you have to scoot down and you walk straight up. They're 10, 12 feet tall, 14-foot tall tunnels that you climb down into the earth. Oh, it's crazy. I said when the first time we went to the Grand Canyon, I said, this is majestic. I said, this is what the word majestic was invented for, because there's elk and condor and eagles and all sorts of stuff flying around, walking around. Like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful.
when we went, so we were on a mission trip, and so me and 3 other people, we got in trouble one night, and so like we had to
No.
go like yeah, we got in trouble one night. So there's 3 or 4 or 5 other people. I can't really. We all snuck out. This is a long story, but yeah. So we got punished. We had to our punishment was we had to go show a horse shit for the day at this
Mm-hmm.
little horse ranch, and I think we're in New Mexico somewhere, right? And so this hippie dude with real long hair. He was like an Indian. He was like the guy we had to go with for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, yeah, we were riding in this old, really old, beat up Suburban, like from the 80s maybe or something. I don't know.
Holes in the floor, dust
Oh
coming in
yeah.
through the doors. Oh yeah.
So we're riding through, the middle of the desert, and, and he was like, so why do y'all got to go do this today? They told me you're in trouble. We snuck out and we went and climbed up that mountain that we could see out of our room. We had these barracks type things,
Mm-hmm.
bunk houses, or I don't know what they were called, common, whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went and hiked up this mountain and got on the top of the mountain, and I can't really remember. I think we had some alcohol, maybe. I really can't remember. So we had to go shovel horse shit. And so we told the guy, he's like, oh, that sounds like fun. He was like a hippie guy, so he was like, yeah, we can go. He's like, we got that mountain right over there that's got this big hole in the center of it. We can go to the top. He's like, we can go do that. Well, so if y'all want to, we're like, yeah, let's go do that instead of do the
Yeah.
horse shit. And
Yeah.
he was like, well, I don't think so. I might get in trouble for that. So we ended up talking our whole we ended up getting back after we shoveled all the horse shit, and we were telling the adults, the chaperones of the trip,
Mm-hmm.
about it, and they're like, oh yeah, we can go do that. So we went and did that one day. So we hiked up this whole mountainside. So I mean, there was this one part of the mountain that went curved like this, and there was a little ledge, to walk around the side of this
Mm-hmm.
mountain to get to the top or whatever, that was a foot or two wide. I mean, it may have been 3 or 4 foot, but it was kind of a scary walk, you fall off,
Yeah.
on this side, it went straight up, 70, 80 foot. And this side went down, I don't know, 100 foot or 70 foot. I can't remember. I didn't have a camera phone
You're not
back
limping
then.
away if you fall. You're not limping away from that experience, is what I'm saying.
So, I mean, there was these people, man, who rode bikes around it though. Like,
It's
I,
insane.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. We walked it, but I wouldn't rode a bike around it. But some people did. Nobody I was with, because we didn't have bikes, because we were travelers. But that I like this. I mean, it's a pretty well traveled place. I think it's called like Mother Earth's belly button or something. So you get to the top of it though, and in the center of it is this big hole that goes straight down and opens back up. It was really cool.
I mean, that seems like the type of spot where you could do like a sacrifice. Maybe that's why we had cold weather. Because when you were 15, 16 years old, you went to Mother Earth's belly button, didn't perform the sacrifice, and she was going through paperwork. That's how backlog she is. She's like, Burton, well, turn that knob down a little bit for him on Christmas.
Send
And
them
not
some
give him
cold
snow.
weather.
Like, if it's going to
Yeah.
be cold, you should have snow. See, that was always when I lived up in Michigan. That was always the worst part, is when it was cold, but you didn't have snow. Because there are things to do when it snows and it's cold. You can go skiing, you can go snowmobiling, you can go ice fishing. Ice fishing's great because you can sit in a little box, jig for fish, and drink. And if you drink too much, you can just stay there. Like, you don't have to drive home. You can just sleep out there and wake up in
Yeah.
the morning and go home. Not that I've ever slept in an ice shanty several dozen times, but hey, that's something. Sometimes the bike comes at 3 o'clock in the morning, and if you're not there to hit it, you're not going to get it.
I've never done any ice fishing. Not a big cold weather guy. I'm a warm weather guy, which is why I love the weather here,
Yep.
because I hate the cold weather. I mean, the cold weather's nice for like a few days, like when I went to Gatlinburg, or like something. Like it's nice sometimes. Maybe we get a little bit of snow maybe once every few years. I think we got some snow once when I was in high school, once or twice. It like really stuck. But I'm not a big. I'm a warm weather guy myself, so I'm still thawing
Having,
out a little bit from the other day.
having lived where it's really, really cold and having lived where it's really, really hot. Like, I've basically lived on the surface of the sun in the North Pole. I can say that this area has the best balanced weather I've lived in. Because you get fall, you get to see the colors change. You know what I mean? And then it just stays warm. It stays like springtime. Like, there is no winter. It goes from fall to spring, and then you get summer again. And summers are hot, but they're not 120-degree frying eggs on pavement, watching people just walk down the street and just tip over and die because they're brain boiled inside their own skull hot.
We got a pretty good balance of weather. I mean, it gets hot, but it's always easier to take clothes off than put them on.
It's true. And there's places around here you can just jump into the water, cool off that way.
Yeah. I mean, like I love going on the water. I grew up on the water, and
Mhm.
I think that's our most underused thing. I want to get me some jet skis. I keep telling my wife we're gonna get some jet skis, and one. I mean, it's in the horizon still.
Mhm.
So we're
All
gonna
right.
get some jet skis. I've got this island for sale that's on the river. I mean, so like I've got a lot of family members involved in it, so it kind of limits me from it. But I mean, I think, man, if somebody, if they really had the time, man, they could get this island. You ever go on the river?
I haven't been on the river yet. No, I'm working on getting out there. There's a kid who's trying to be, who is going to be a professional bass fisherman from around here. I'm trying to get out on the river with him so he can show me how to rip a few lips around here quick.
Yeah, no. So you'll have to one day during the summertime, man. We'll have to go. So my
Yeah,
family, I grew up on the water, lived on the water pretty much my whole life, and I lived in Radium. You ever been to Radium?
I have. Yep, I've been down to Radium.
Yeah. So when we moved back from Tampa, my parents moved here when I was 3 or 4. Moved from Tampa. We lived a big ass house downtown that my grandparents owned. It's a boarding house now. We sold it. But yeah, so then we lived there for a little while till we got a house here. We bought a house over there on Radium on the creek. It was really, really cool, man. So we lived on Radium up until we still had the golf course and everything. It was really cool, man. Really,
There was a golf course out there at one point in time. I went
yeah.
out there for a show and I looked around and I told my wife, The only reason the topography would be like this, I want to go out there and play. Like, even though it's not well maintained, because you can see where the tee boxes are. I still want
Yeah.
to go out there and hit.
So they got like 50 miles of walk. I mean, maybe not 50 miles. I don't know. They got walking trails out there, man. They
They
spent
just
a
opened the new bridge. 2 months
yeah.
ago, they opened the new bridge out there.
Yeah, so I actually went for that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can walk all the way up. So, like they used to be a huge swimming hole, and hopefully one day we'll be able to open it back up. I know there's been a lot of people, talking about it, hoping for it, working on it, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But when we lived there, we still had like there's the big. You ever seen the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
casino building.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that
so
what that is?
yeah. Well, there used to be a. Hold on, man. I got a picture of it somewhere. Um, I guess it's not in my office, but it used to be a big ass casino overlooking the hole where the blue hole, where the spring is.
Yeah.
They tore it down because it got flooded in 94, 98, and this became too expensive to keep. But I mean, so we used to be able to swim in there and stuff. I remember it was really really cool. But I mean, otherwise, growing up, man, lived on the creek. I lived in Canuga, or neighbor Canuga subdivision, and
Mhm.
most of my life. So like, I lived right here. My cousin lived up above the waterfalls. You done any kayaking?
I've done kayaking, just not here.
Yeah, oh well, so you got to go kayaking, man. So we
Oh,
got
yeah.
the blue hole on the creek, man. So you can put in at the bridge right there and paddle down.
Mhm.
Um, the bridge, can't remember the name of the road right there. Not Forester, one up from Forester. Um, I can't remember the name of the bridge right there. But you put in right there, Sandy Beach Road. You know where Sandy Beach Road is?
I don't, but I have Google, so I can figure it out.
Yeah, there's
I have
another.
you. You could always drive me down and show me.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to do it on weekend. So you could put in
Yeah.
there and paddle down to we used to do that growing up, man. We had little john boats, me and my cousin. We'd shoot up and down the creek, man. Me and my friends in high school,
Freedom.
we had a boat. We always had a boat. So we had a dock, so like in high
Mhm.
school, my friends would come over and we would take the boat out all summer long. We go tubing, man. Dude, if we had, smartphones when I was growing up, man, I'd have some really cool videos. Go wakeboarding, man. We have Wake Fest. We have Wake Fest up pretty often. Like, we didn't have it this year, I don't think. But the last few years we've had Wake Fest, man. Dude, it's a ton of fun, man.
I
Ton of
love
fun.
watching wakeboarding competitions and stuff. I grew up fishing. I mean, I was first mate on a charter boat. My first job was in a canoe and kayak livery. So I'm a water dog. I
Yeah.
always told my wife, I said, when I retire, if I could choose to do anything I wanted, I would set foot on a yacht and I would wave goodbye to land. And even after I died, I'd say, listen, bring a crematorium out here or throw me overboard. I
I
am not going back to that dirt. I don't want to do it. I don't see any value in it. I'm going to the freedom of the water.
I love the water. I mean, I think, that's our most underused resource. One day I'm gonna get me another. My parents still got a boat, but I'd rather get my own boat,
Mhm.
because I'm an adult now, and that's what adults do, is get their own things. But
If I was
I
close
mean,
to my dad, I'd be hooking up on his new boat. He just bought a brand new one. I'd just be pulling into his driveway and hooking up to it, not even asking. Come out, hey, where's my boat? Where do you think it is? Getting wet where it's supposed to be.
yeah. But yeah, man, we gotta go kayaking, man.
Yeah.
There's a kayak company called Up the Creek. You can
Okay.
rent kayaks from. So I actually got kayaks and canoes of my own, but it's so much easier to call Up the Creek, man. Because they'll pick you up at the boat ramp. You can drop your car off. See, the problem is, if you go kayaking, you're gonna put in one place, take out another. You gotta have two cars.
Yep.
So if you call my buddies at Up the Creek, they actually work at Harvest Moon, the people do. So, but kind of
Oh,
relates back to the food. But
there you
yeah,
go. Go
but
have go have some pizza, have a beer ski, then have them take you to the river where you can go canoeing. By the time you get done with your little canoe trip, kayak trip, and dicking around on the river, yeah, look at that. You're good to go again.
man,
Or you get an Uber out of the river, or you get you get a taxi to pick you up from the river, and then you just never have to drive.
so up until I think that the law changed in 2013, 2014. You could get a DUI even on a canoe. So, so like if you were in an inner tube, which
Mhm.
we used to do that same. We used to go floating all the time too, man. I loved to go floating when I was younger, man. In high school, we'd have groups of 40, 50 people, man. We'd go, it was a lot of fun. And so, we went, way up the creek,
Mhm.
where it was less likely. But, if you were to be inner tubing at that time, we were underage, obviously, so it wouldn't have mattered. But,
Yeah,
but
still not done.
I'm just kidding. We never drank under the age limits.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody
But
on this show has ever done anything of any kind that could be even misconstrued as
we do
illegal.
not recommend it. We would never promote it.
Right? I do not recommend it or promote it. Yet
We
here we're at
never
what
did
I
it.
would
We
do.
were never involved in it. But we would go. So we would go inner tubing, and so you would get. So I mean, even if you got in inner tube, you could get a DUI kayaking. But luckily, in 2013 or 2014 or something like that, that changed.
What's the best
And
part of
so
tubing? Is you can drink beer
yeah,
and you never have to hit the bank
so
to poop. You can
yeah,
just
up the creek, they put you in, take you out. You can't worry about one vehicle. Then you just got to have one vehicle get you to and from. Just Uber back and forth. That's the way to do it, man.
beautiful. We should
Yeah.
do a we should do a podcast. Everybody get together and do a big float down the river. So
We
this is the inaugural one, guys. Here's what's gonna happen in mid-July. We're gonna get
YPN.
inner tube together and just show up at a spot. And just it's gonna be a BYOB. It's not gonna be anything official. Listen to this. We'll throw some dates up. And then we'll just see how many people we can get and just making an obscene amount of people to go like barge float down the river. Like so that next year they're like, you guys need security and all these different ordinances. Let's
Nah,
make it so big that the first year it's an issue.
we'll be very civilized, I'm sure. But the,
You can be
we,
very civilized. I have been accused of a lot of things in my life, and civilized is not one of them.
another cool thing to do, man. So I haven't done this. I'm an Eagle Scout, so we always grew up camping. Like, and me and my
Oh, I
dad.
love
My
camping.
dad's super out. My dad is super outdoorsy. So I grew up. Growing up. These kids today, they got all these phones and computers and tablets and I don't all this other stuff. I don't even know. They don't even leave the rooms. But growing up, man, I was never inside of my house, man. We had the woods beside my house. You know where Cypress Cove is?
Yes.
Yeah. So I grew up in Canuga. That's a neighborhood right next to that. So where Cypress Cove is,
Okay.
boy, that was our place, man. I mean, dude, we had the rope swing, man. The rope swing was legendary, man. Like the rope swing, man, that was I mean, all the high school people would skip school, go to it. I mean, we had the rope swing there, man. The rope swing was legendary now. So now we got it. Now it's a subdivision. And where the little beach is, man, you know
Hmm.
where the little beach is on the water? You seen that?
I
So
haven't been down there.
yeah, it's a cove. They got pictures of it. So now that's like the little neighborhood gathering spot. That used to
Oh yeah.
be like our party spot.
It's amazing how times change, isn't it?
Yeah, but we would go camping, so we would put in at the bridge at the dam below Blackshear, and so that's a pretty fast moving water. So
Hmm.
we would put in, and we would like make it. You could do it in a 1 day trip to 32 Bridge, you know.
Hmm.
But
That's
if you make it a 2 day trip, you can stop and camp and fish and you swim, things like that. You really get
that's what I grew up doing too. Is that kind of stuff.
yeah.
You know, I grew up 4 square miles. Just I had free reign. There was a private lake that my friends and I used to fish on. And other than that, my parents would just say, okay, stay in this 4 mile area. And like 3 or 4 of us, they wouldn't know where we were in those 4 square miles. They'd just be like, come home when it gets dark. Or if you're going camping, make sure you camp in one of these spots so we know where you're at if we need to get you. Okay.
Yeah.
No, right. If you're going to be camping for more than one day, make sure you report back every day so we know you're alive. Not every hour, just once a day so we know you're still breathing.
That's the only reason I was ever given a phone, man. I mean,
That's how
that's the
they get
only
you.
reason.
Yeah, that's how they get you. And then all of a sudden, life gets you hooked on the damn thing. Next thing you know, you can't set it down.
I mean, my phone is blowing up. I've missed at least 7 calls.
Oh, yeah, mine keeps flashing emails and everything else at me, and I keep ignoring
Yeah.
it. But what do you think? You think an hour is good for our
Yeah.
inaugural podcast here?
This is a phenomenal podcast, Life in Albany, Living in Albany, whatever you want to call it. And
Yeah. The
yeah,
Albany experts of Albany living and Albany-ish Albany.
Albany Guide, whatever you want to call it.
The guides to the surrounding Albany area. If you're following us anywhere, guys, make sure you do it on Facebook. Make sure you do it on YouTube. Make sure you do it on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter. Mr. Newcomb, are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter, got the
The
LinkedIn, got
tweeter.
the YouTube channel, got 180 something subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
I put all my houses up that I'm selling on there, at least a lot of them.
I share them all from the Bearded LO. I also have my own YouTube channel. Check out the Chatterbox. It's a selfless plug. Mr. Newcomb's episode is going to be the next one. Forgive all of the Christmas decorations in it. We shot it around Christmas time, and now that it's after Christmas, I haven't watched it, and I'm like, well, Santa's gone, but I'm posting it close enough to New Year's that I think people will forgive. Like, you usually have 2 weeks after New Year's to get your Christmas stuff down.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast, and we expect every single one of y'all to come and join us at the Death of the Gangster. And it's going to be an exciting event. We talked about it earlier in the meeting. If you don't know when it is or where it is, just give me or Chad a call, or really anybody, in the YPN committee. Or it'll be on the Facebook pages, and
the event is out there on Facebook being shared. I know I've been sharing it a lot in the group. That there's a group on Facebook that has events for people 21 and over in the area. I highly recommend joining that group because there's a lot of stuff that's going on that is posted in there too. And Death of a Gangster is in there.
What's that group called?
Albany Events for Over 21.
Oh,
they didn't get real creative with the name, which is good because it makes it easy to find. Well, you have a great rest of your day, man. Thank you, everybody who's listening, for tuning in and listening to this. We're going to get this up soon, and we'll have more coming at you. And it's just going to be like this, really super loose, talk about food, talk about stuff that we did, talk about stuff that we want to do, and just what's going on around you to make you have a happier life.
Y'all have a great day, and make sure to subscribe to our channels for the next videos.
Take care.